Thank you for joining me for this live podcast episode. In this, we'll be discussing about the role of content personalization in optimizing marketing outcomes. In a more simple language, how do you create with, the use of AI, which we have all these tools at scale when you can personalize messaging? How do you do it? How do you take out the whole process that end of the day, whatever the marketing outcome you need, which is generally business oriented, uh, how do you do that so that you can optimize the same? So I'll kind of take you through some pointers of the same and something which can be a guideline, because content is such a major part of what we do as marketers, and the importance of it is just getting traction. The volume is increasing, so you have and better output is required with the taste of the people, like amazing content is also there, so you have to compete with that. So the both quality and quantity has to be increased, majorly. Everyone has to step up the games in that. So a little bit like how do we go about this? Obviously, the more we play within the content, we come to know, how do we go about it and get better. So, firstly, in today's day and age, what do we mean of the content personalization? What do we actually mean, about it? So, firstly, you have the context, relevance, intent, and timing. Like everything has a certain amount of importance, and everything has to be kept in mind when you are doing it. So and there are various TG in terms of, have a broad TG, various segments, sub segments. So how do you go about designing content for that? So a lot of platforms, when they use it, or more personalization is that like for example Spotify, they just don't recommend music you might like, right? Like as per the day they will put out the playlist for you, and it'll kind of differ. They'll take a call on what kind of mood you would be in. And this is all with data, like they are seeing the pattern in which you browse music on that particular, or see podcast on Spotify. So um, it'll be party list, playlist, or unwind playlist. So we all have had these nudges from Spotify and this thing. So it's just one kind of thing where it will differ from time to time with the particular audience, and then that's how do you kind of make content personalized. Awesome. Next would be your understanding of need, not just identities. You cannot just box everyone, in one particular thing like it is to be done. Before the when marketing was a little bit more simpler, because like very broad kind of messaging. Today it's cluttered media world is messaging and all. It's all granular, and also uh, you need to understand the needs, not just the identity of the person. So obviously on a platform like LinkedIn, you would be recommended different things as per what is you're doing professionally. Like if you are a college student, or you can be a CEO of a company. So that will kind of differ, and you all could also play around with the things wherein, like with your particular profile, if you kind of change something major and just to try it out, and then you can see the difference in the content that is being served out to you. So this is where the platforms do it. So within the platforms also, you will see a way in which they are crafting these things. Marketers are 100% involved in way these platforms also, they're putting out content to it, because they are someone who day in day out have made their career on appealing to different kinds of target audience. So they are the one of the best equipped. So then these major platforms also, you will have marketers working in the whole content game. Awesome. So we look at how personalization, when we look at the outcome, finally we look at higher attention and engagement, right? How do we get this particular thing going? This is all we want in terms of when we look at the larger thing of is how do we drive an outcome. So what is the outcome desired for most of us? Like we are working for companies, like for their particular service, their website would be there, or e-commerce thing. Like say for people in Netflix, it would be that how many people are actually and what are the watch hours they have on that particular platform, right? And which movies they have to push out the movies, like a platform in Netflix, they are marketing heavily on say a platform like YouTube, because they want people to go on that particular Netflix and watch a particular. So they will be having their trailers and everything, and on Netflix itself, there is a thing wherein the thumbnails change. They will change the thumbnail; it will seem different. So if for one person, romantic movies would be appealing more, and one person action movies, so they'll change the thumbnail wherein that element it seems like more of a romantic movie and more for this thing, and that will enable you to click more. So there's some advanced kind of um, you can say personalization that happens on this particular platforms. Um, we look at better conversion rates on when you look at the marketing outcomes that we want. So how do we do it? So we look at different ways in which we can optimize conversion. So like a platform like say Amazon, they will look at uh, showing you bundles, frequently bought together, which they see with your browsing behavior. And this is done so that it increases the likelihood of your average order value to go up, right? So because all platforms, let's be honest, it's getting increasingly competitive and it is becoming more, revenue driven. So these revenue driven um, goals that they have, then they will have technology and personalization according to that. So we have a way in which, I mean, when you look at these particular platforms, um, it could appear more salesy or something for us, but that would be more of the marketing community, because we work in that same industry. But the reality is that's how the things are working. But they end of the day, for common consumers, they shouldn't appear sales. It should be kind of a natural thing for them. Only will make that decision, because it's like a magic show. Like if you know the trick, then there's no fun in that, and you kind of don't enjoy yourself. How do you have stronger trust and recall? So you have to develop this. Like for example, Zomato's push notifications, they see your past orders, and their messaging will not appear promotional. Like they'll have that a particular, if you're into say Italian food, like something, so they'll say Italian food restaurant is nearby, for example, like uh, this new place is open, which is in that, or there's some kind of an offer on a particular Italian say restaurant which is listed on the platform and is you can order it home. So those are some of the kind of cool ways in which they are using that for a better marketing out of which generally the business goal to achieve the same. Awesome. So we look at full personalization across the marketing funnel. If we know, the marketing funnels have also kind of changed now with the volume of business that is happening, of marketing, messaging, communication. So all of it is increasing rapidly, and that is making a different kind of funnels only and all. So, but when we look at the basics, you have we'll kind of cover. So firstly, we all know you have awareness. So we have obviously who are working in marketing. We know there are these three things in the funnel. You have an awareness stage, you'll have a consideration phase, and then a conversion phase. and then also loyalty, like how do you kind of make sure that. So I'll take you the one by one and some examples within that. So let's look at awareness page. When what is it about that? Like a lot of platforms are out there. So on that particular platform, how do you tell a proper story? So um, if you see a company like Nike, it is showing inspirational, culture-driven videos on their Instagram page. And when you look at when you go on the YouTube, it's a different thing where they will have a lot of features of the product and the benefits, and also like people who are actually you know going on the particular YouTube channel. And many athletes, they definitely subscribe to Nike and also a lot of inspiration. They'll get more to know about your performance driven um, features, like what is good in that shoe basically when wearing, or what is good in that t-shirt and all, what are the benefits like to use as an athlete. So more deeper videos within that. So when you have this different kind of storytelling, depends on the platform what kind of stories you tell. There is uh, because the different kind of TG that is, or at least an assumption is there on the different TG. That is why the marketer is making that decision to move on them. Second is the consideration phase. So when we look at uh, consideration, basically, awesome, awesome. Just a second. Okay, we look at consideration through behavior-based content. Awesome. So, what is this content that we are talking about? If someone downloads, say, a HubSpot's beginner CRM guide, uh, so then they later receive content explaining their advanced use cases. So it's like that lead magnet that you have. So that is where these lead magnets leads to that consideration phase, that the customer is kind of thinking about your product, right? They kind of tend to um, like making that decision that whether they want to go and not ahead with your particular product. So that is something which is in this particular phase, and that, like, HubSpot is a good example within that. And last is the conversion and loyalty phase. So in the conversion and loyalty phase, he has already, they have made a different decision to buy a product or not. Sorry, kind of made the decision to buy a product or not. So like a company like Airbnb, they will show different social proof, right? In terms of that. So, like, say, family will see safety and whether it's good, spacious place and all, and so travel will look at different kind of experiences. So, uh, you showcasing these reviews have become a huge thing, in terms of uh, I would say 4 5 years back, the reviews, the amount of reviews that used to happen was not that much. Like today is 10x that what was 5 years ago. Like, because people openly are. So there are few people, different kind of reviewers. One would be like who genuine had that experience, and they appreciative, or they would complain about it or something. And then you'll have also a lot of people who want to showcase themselves on Google Business or Zomato and all these places and build a following there also. So they go out there and they will give detailed reviews on whether they're genuine or not. That uh, depends on the person what they're doing, but these are the different kind of things where, and so that's why the reviews, when the people see initial few reviews, it can put them off also. So they would be kind of very focused in a way in terms of how you're replying to the reviews. Focus is important because every day, if you have a good amount of brand name, every day there'll be a certain amount of reviews that are coming in, and which you will need to reply to. And if they're a genuine company, they have to connect them with your operations team or whoever to get those things along. So it's something which has to be considered really a lot. Awesome. So few more points I am also looking at when we see this particular topic in content personalization. So when you're looking in data and AI, and basically there's a perception that you can kind of lose the human touch in that, right? When it comes to these particular things. So I feel that your you have to use these tools to enhance the game, right? Um, there can be a lack of over reliance on these tools and all, and definitely that is taking the human thing away, right? We all are facing that, because it's becoming, as marketers, quite easy to go and on ChatGPT and take out a whole strategy only through it, and just go forward and use that particular campaign, like whatever are the campaign ad copy that is there for the different ads, or the AI generated images that you can create, and use them. But I feel it will show in the work, like there is that content fatigue also that happens with the AI content which is already happening. And not only that, people are able to see that this particular brand is using AI a lot. It doesn't look real, and it's not appealing to us. There was a backlash also which came. You might have all seen. I think Coca-Cola, they used a complete AI generated movie for their Christmas campaign and all, and it was trolled quite a bit. And genuinely, there was like genuine trolling which was justified, because they really got back at them. Like that is not the way to such a big brand to use, particularly AI. So uh, if they go along and they go and use AI, and they are taking away work of so many great artists, like the digital graphic artists and all, um, then it's what kind of message they're sending to all the other companies and all which are smaller. They will, and for them the budget's also not even 1 millionth of what they are using, right? Like a company like Coca-Cola. So that was something which was within the news, and I think you have to send. You have a responsibility also as a marketer, right? And you should use that responsibility, especially if working in such a huge company. You have to set the right example along. Also, so like the first point I would say is, when you're looking at um, personalization at scale, it is you look at an AI driven scale. Like how do we drive this with particularly AI? Meta, when you look at it, their particular ad platform, you are looking at they have gotten tools within the advertising platforms which is making the headlines, generating visuals. You will have a particular different call to action, so they will serve these out to different audiences on their own. So the AI is only predicting the behavior which is most as per a particular target audience, in terms of increasing likelihood of clicks. So they are taking up a lot of the role of the marketers, which can drive that at scale. So uh, whoever's working performance marketing, definitely it eases up a lot of their work, because you just create a particular target and say that how do you excuse me, optimize for clicks or optimize for conversions or something like that. So accordingly, it is separate. So it has definitely saved a lot of work of these particular marketers. We look at human-led strategy and emotion, right? Like when you look at personalization, biggest example in that is Apple. Is Apple, you will use data to know who to show the ads to, right? most likelihood which is the right audience on, say, a particular social media channel. But if you see, they follow certain standards, and that human element is in the storytelling. uh, Emotion is high, and there's minimalism, and that brand value is maintained, because their whole creative is human crafted. So this is something that they maintain. Other huge companies have should learn from this, because they are relying too much, I feel, on many other companies on AI. So that much reliance, I think, should not be there. Awesome. So we look at how basically human and emotion can work together. When we look at human-led strategy and emotion. So um, a lot of these e-commerce brands, they use AI. You must have seen those carts when you abandon. You must be getting emails from them. This could be also very irritating, also. But in terms of the language that is used within it, right? It could be like a reminder, or a certain amount of urgency is there, or some kind of way you have to reassure the prospect that he's making a right decision. So whatever is written within that tone that is there, it's difficult to derive that. But with certain AI tools, where in terms of the browsing and all, you have to get an idea of that. It cannot be tone deaf, in terms of the messaging. There has to be a certain amount of, right tone and within that. So that is a little bit of the advanced AI tools and all that these huge companies are using. Um, Now, personalization easier said than done. And how do you get it right? Like, there are various factors on it. Like, you have trust, your creativity, and how do you measure that particular success? So it has to. This is all I've been adding to how a marketer is kind of judge, if he's able to use that particular AI and get particular personalization, right? So there are various factors within that. What I would feel is that in when you're using these particular tool, and at using AI at scale, we all should kind of have an idea of um, our TG in general. Obviously, we have that, but then how do you get deeper into that? Like, you have different kind of layering within the TG, right? So, what are the different layers within your TG? Like, what is segments, your sub segments, and all that. So, the deeper we get into it, the more we get an idea. So, in terms of when even in my last stream, when I said that we should spend most of our time on strategy and AI, since it's taking out these repetitive tasks, where you can fully automate them, that this is where we should use. I mean, I within my career, you've done so much. Like, when you worked in a lot of these uh, B2B companies, you do a lot of data mining. I mean, so much of that is uh, you know your effort is saved with the AI. There are tools in LinkedIn. You have your LinkedIn, like, say, your sales navigator. You have tools like where it's going through your data, like a Duck Soup or a Lucia or something like that. So all these tools are should be used, and through these tools you get that personalization which is there, right? um, Awesome. I think we'll go through point by point in these things. So, just a few examples also we can take. So, personalization, how do you get it right? Firstly, it should appear helpful, not invasive. Um, you all would have seen on Google Maps, like, if you allow notifications also on it, and you keep your workplace like you've saved it, like your home, office, or whatever, there will a suggestion will come like you can consider leaving early at this time because the traffic could develop or something like that. So those kind of some notification will come within that. So that I would say is helpful. It is not invasive in a way, because it is kind of, with that data it's giving you a proper good suggestion, right? But invasive is I feel, when you look at advertising and all, like we know, in which say you are talking about something or you search something in Google, and then you are bombarded with these remarketing ads about the whole thing, and it is a quite aggressive. It's not like just one ad you see in a few days. It is the one ad which you are seeing 3 4 times a day. So that is intrusive, and you today the customer has that option of, they said that this ad is not appealing to me, so you completely lose that customer, right? So that is where that balance has to be there, where you have that thing where you are helpful but you're not invasive anyway. A lot of discussion there on, creativity will is kind of dying down because of the use of AI. Like the AI is only thinking for you and making all these things. So uh, that is something, as I said in my last stream, that AI is something which you treat as extra hands and extra brain, right? Like, so you shouldn't treat it like beyond a line when you're using it as well. And the fatigue also is there of the customers. If everything appears very AI generated, I mean, today's generation, you can see what is AI and what is not. Like, because the access of these tools are with everyone. So see that there was a campaign Coca-Cola of Share a Coke. So it worked just not because the names was involved within that thing, but it was a fun, social, emotionally shareable. So that is where that creativity comes in, that Share a Coke particular campaign. I think it has been a popular campaign. It is been used in different ways. I think in India or some place, I think there was used where uh, you had an event where youngsters were connecting with another. So it's like you had the particular bottle, and it had that on top of it, some Dakkan or something was there, which you could open only with some other person's bottle, something like that. So that campaign became quite popular organically on social media, because it was like, I think you break the ice or something, like, and you can, like, you open the bottle and you talk to other person. I don't know what was the particular event about. It was networking only, but it was a creative thing, because brands have to attach with different kind of ideas, right? Like in their TG, like I think Colgate also had that first move or what or something like that. Like, so those you have to attach with. It was obviously to the college students, and also that was something which kind of did well. Awesome. Lastly, about this is, how do you measure success when you look at the personalization? So there was one particular SaaS brand. So generally, since I work in a lot of SaaS companies, you look at very metrics, very basic metrics there. Like, you kind of get stuck in that whole thing, especially when it is in B2B. But um, what they went deeper at one particular SaaS brand is, they're not looking at just the click through rate, whether the specific personalized content in that led to better qualified demo bookings, right? And shorter sales cycle. So if you connect everything and you know the source of your lead from the absolute source, like the first time the person chose or had or clicked on it or came through a natural search or whatever, what was the outcome of that over a long period of a year also, then that gives you better insights in marketing, and you can judge properly what kind of marketing to use and what not. So this was, I think, a very interesting particular campaign that happened of this particular SaaS brand. I would not call it more of a campaign. It's more of a way of judging, like in terms of what is successful and what is not. So uh, this was kind of interesting in the way of how it was. Awesome. So I think it would be it. This is the would be the all the pointers from my side, of this particular thing. Just to, if you look at a bit of a summary in it, we were looking at content personalization today's day and age, like how it works out. Then we look at how to get better marketing outcomes. Then we look at the personalization in the marketing funnel. uh, you have your data and AI. How do you scale? At scale, you achieve personalization, and then how do you get personalization right? Right. That is the which is the most important thing. Awesome. So now let's go lastly to the Q&A section. Uh, we'll look at some questions from the audience and whether I can particularly be of any assistance in this. Great. So is content personalization overrated or it genuinely a growth leveler today? Yeah, because I think there has been too much of a conversation on it, and we look personalization, keep hearing and seeing articles and how AI can personalize and all. So it's kind of talked and discussed a lot. But I feel it is only overrated when it's shallow. When you use your basic names in your email or just a few segments of your TG, that doesn't push the envelope. But when personalization is rooted in your intent, your behavior, what context it is in, then it'll directly improve what are the metrics, the engagement, the conversion, and the loyalty. So it is with relevance, that there's too much talk about technology, but how it's used, is what is the relevance, that is how you can get better in the personalization. So how do marketers balance personalization with privacy without losing effectiveness? Sorry, that's different question. This is on the screen. Sorry. So I was talking about how you balance personalization with privacy without losing effectiveness. Um, so basically the key in this is transparency and the value exchange that you have. Uh, so audience is only comfortable in sharing that data if they are seeing a clear benefit. Like when you have these lead magnets where you person is giving some kind of ebook or a free one-on-one call or something. I don't know. Like a lot of the coaches out there are doing that. So then there is that benefit. Then he'll give the data, the name, the phone number, or whatever is it. So only if the benefit is established is then this happens. Nobody is going to do things for free. So the first party data and consent led personalization, very important question. Sorry, very important statement here. Consent led personalization will always outperform this invasive kind of tracking and all this. Like, you'll not believe the level of invasiveness some and the audacity of some of the companies is like, I was using, I don't know, some kind of a platform, so-called job search or something. And then the somebody came of, I mean, I got a call or something that, sir, we are looking, and that was like 10 minutes after I'd logged on to that particular. I have not logged in for a long time. After 10 minutes, I log in, somebody's calling me, and they mentioned that, yeah, you have logged in this thing and I'm calling. So that is so invasive. Like I kind of stopped using. I was really put off with that. And those kind of a very, which I've noticed with those kind of company where they are pushing out things onto you so much. Those companies are like really salesy, like, so you don't really appreciate this thing. Awesome. For which other questions are there? Just checking it out. Awesome. Some great question. Okay, we have some questions about marketing personalization here. What is the biggest? Okay. Okay. At which stage of the marketing will the personalization have the biggest impact? Now that is not a clear. It depends on the stage. Personalization matters in all the stages which you're talking about: awareness, consideration, and conversion. Um, so you can say, okay, it could have the strongest impact in like the consideration phase. That I would say, according to me, but it's up for discussion. What exactly each marketer will have a different opinion on it. What's one mistake brands consistently make with content personalization? Uh, so it's basically they're just jumping onto tools. A lot of AI tools are being launched day in day out. A lot of companies are there in this. So you have to they're focusing too much on them. I think um, you have to define what success looks like and then use. You can use virtually Chat GTP or Gemini or the basic tools free for everything. You don't now they have features I think coming in for more advanced level image generation and video generation also. So you have to define what are the you want, like you want better leads, you want faster conversions, or you want better engagement. So when your outcome is clear and detailed, then you just need a very few tools to get the particular work done. Awesome. And I think lastly, let's take this question about creativity. Awesome. There's one interesting question which I was seeing. It is about personalization and creativity. So you all, if you have any questions, please drop it. If it is pretty good, I will take it in this particular session. And these sessions are for my fellow marketers only. Awesome. So let me see if anyone has any kind of awesome. Let me see what kind of other thing. Okay, so that's it. I think this will be the last question of the day. Can AI really personalize content at scale without killing creativity? That is a bit of a harsh term. So, uh, I feel AI doesn't basically kill creativity. A poor strategy can kill creativity, but AI doesn't. So it's what is excellent and you have to identify is it excellent at distribution, testing, optimization. Um, Human beings, the main is that connecting with other human beings, what appeals to them, it comes with them. So they are able to understand emotion, culture, context better, better kind of storytelling happens because of that. So the best marriage of the same is the human and the AI is uh, when AI handles the scale and human handles the meaning. So that is my take on the same. Awesome. So thank you so much. Thank you for this particular coming to the podcast episode. If you would like me to have more episodes, please put in the comments and all, and I'll definitely go forward. You can DM me any kind of queries and all. I'll take it in these particular episodes. And you can subscribe to these podcasts also on the YouTube channel, all in one place. The channel is called Modern Intelligence. Thank you so much. I'll see you all next time. Take care.